You're 75 years old. Your wife is barren. You've spent your entire life accumulating wealth in a city that worships the moon god. And then you hear a voice, not a whisper, not a thought, a voice that shakes you to your core. Leave everything. Go to a land I'll show you. I'll make you into a great nation. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how this works. Your wife can't have children, but something in that voice makes you move. You're Abram. This is your story. You pack up everything: livestock, servants, gold, your wife Sarai, your nephew Lot. Your father Terah starts the journey with you, but dies in Haran. You keep moving. You cross into Canaan. Everywhere you look, Canaanites. They own this land. They have armies. You have tents and a promise from a God you barely know. You build an altar. You keep moving south. Then famine hits. Everything you left behind, the security, the city walls, the predictable life, it all seems pretty good right now. Your household is starving. So you make a choice. You go to Egypt. You don't ask God. You just go. And immediately you panic. Sarai is beautiful. You know what happens to beautiful women in Egypt. Their husbands disappear. So you tell her to lie. Tell them you're my sister. She does. Pharaoh sees her. He takes her into his palace. He gives you sheep, cattle, donkeys, camels, servants. You're getting rich off your wife being in another man's house. You sold her to save yourself, but God intervenes. Plagues hit Pharaoh's household. He figures it out. He calls you in. Oh, what have you done to me? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? He kicks you out. You leave Egypt wealthier but humiliated. You failed the first real test. Back in Canaan, you and Lot have too much livestock. Your herdsmen are fighting with his herdsmen. The land can't support both of you, so you give Lot first choice. He picks the fertile Jordan Valley near Sodom. You get the hills. It looks like you lost. But then God speaks again. Look around. All this land, as far as you can see, I'm giving it to you and your offspring forever. Offspring. You're still waiting on that part. Years pass. Lot gets captured in a war between kings. You take 318 trained men from your household and launch a night raid. You rescue Lot, recover all the goods, bring back the people. On your way home, you meet Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of God Most High. He blesses you. You give him a tenth of everything. Then the king of Sodom offers you all the recovered wealth. Keep it. You refuse. I won't take a thread or a sandal strap. I won't let you say you made Abram rich. You're learning. Wealth isn't the point. God speaks to you in a vision. Don't be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward will be very great. And you snap. What can you give me since I remain childless? You're making promises about offspring, but my servant Eliezer is going to inherit everything. God takes you outside. Look at the sky. Count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you'll have. And for the first time, you believe him. God counts it as righteousness, not because you're perfect. You just lied about your wife in Egypt, but because you believed the promise. Then Sarai makes a suggestion. The Lord has kept me from having children. Sleep with my servant Hagar. Maybe I can build a family through her. It's culturally acceptable. It's logical. It's a disaster. You sleep with Hagar. She gets pregnant. Immediately, she despises Sarai. Sarai blames you. You gave me your servant, and now she looks down on me. You tell Sarai to do whatever she wants with Hagar. Sarai mistreats her. Hagar runs away into the desert. An angel finds her. Go back, submit to your mistress. I will multiply your offspring. You're going to have a son. Name him Ishmael. God hears. Hagar returns. Ishmael is born. You're 86 years old. You think this is the fulfillment. It's not. 13 years of silence. You're 99 now. Then God appears again. I am God Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. I will make my covenant between me and you. You fall face down. Your name is no longer Abram. You're Abraham now, father of many nations. Kings will come from you. I'm giving you all of Canaan as an everlasting possession. I will be your God. But there's a requirement. Every male must be circumcised. It's the sign of the covenant. You, your sons, your servants, everyone. You do it that day. At 99 years old, you circumcise yourself. Ishmael is circumcised. Every male in your household. Obedience isn't convenient, God continues. Sarai's name is now Sarah. I will bless her and give you a son by her. You laugh. You actually laugh. Will a son be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at 90? You suggest Ishmael. Let him be the one. God says no. Sarah will bear you a son. You'll call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him. But I've heard you about Ishmael. I will bless him too. 12 rulers will come from him. But my covenant is with Isaac, who Sarah will bear next year. 3 visitors appear at your tent. You don't know they're angels yet. You rush to prepare a meal: calf, curds, milk, bread. While they eat, they ask where Sarah is. One of them says, I will return to you next year, and Sarah will have a son. Sarah is listening from the tent. She laughs to herself. After I'm worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure? The Lord asks you why Sarah laughed. She denies it because she's afraid. But you did laugh, he says. The visitors leave. 2 head toward Sodom. 1 stays. The Lord. He tells you what he's about to do. The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, their sin so grievous. I'm going down to see if it's as bad as the outcry. You know Lot lives there, your nephew. Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people? Will you destroy the whole city? Far be it from you to kill the righteous with the wicked. Won't the judge of all the earth do right? If I find 50 righteous, I'll spare the whole place. You keep negotiating. What about 45? 40? 30? 20? Finally 10. For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. He leaves. You return to your tent. The next morning, you look toward Sodom. Smoke rises like a furnace. The entire plain is destroyed. But God remembered you. He sent Lot out before the destruction. Sarah becomes pregnant. At 90 years old, you're 100. She gives birth to a son. You name him Isaac. On the 8th day, you circumcise him. Sarah says, God has brought me laughter. Everyone who hears will laugh with me. Isaac grows. The day he's weaned, you hold a feast. Sarah sees Ishmael mocking Isaac. She comes to you. Get rid of that slave woman and her son. He will never share the inheritance with my son Isaac. It distresses you. Ishmael is your son too. But God tells you, listen to Sarah. Your offspring will be reckoned through Isaac. I'll make the son of the slave into a nation also, because he's your offspring. Early the next morning, you give Hagar bread and water. You send her away with Ishmael. She wanders in the desert. The water runs out. She puts the boy under a bush and sits down, unable to watch him die. God hears the boy crying. An angel calls to Hagar, do not be afraid. I will make him into a great nation. A well of water appears. They survive. Ishmael grows up in the desert. Years pass. Isaac is now a young man, maybe a teenager. Then God tests you. Abraham, here I am. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love. Go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering, your only son, the son of the promise, the one you waited 25 years for. Sacrifice him. You don't argue. You don't question. Early the next morning, you saddle your donkey. You cut wood for the burnt offering. You take Isaac and 2 servants. You travel for 3 days. On the 3rd day, you see the place. You tell the servants to stay. We will worship, and then we will come back to you. We, both of us. You believe God will raise him from the dead if necessary. You place the wood on Isaac. You carry the fire and the knife. As you walk together, Isaac asks the question, Father, the fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb? Your heart breaks. God himself will provide the lamb, my son. You reach the place, you build an altar. You arrange the wood. You bind Isaac. You lay him on the altar. You raise the knife. Abraham, Abraham, do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. You look up. A ram is caught in a thicket. You sacrifice it instead of Isaac. You name the place the Lord will provide. The angel calls again. Because you've done this, I will bless you. I will multiply your descendants like the stars and the sand. Through your offspring, all nations will be blessed. Because you obeyed, you return home. Sarah dies at 127 years old. You weep for her. You buy a field and a cave from the Hittites. You bury her in the cave of Machpelah. You're old now. You call your chief servant. Put your hand under my thigh. Swear you won't get a wife for Isaac from the Canaanites. Go to my country, to my relatives, and get a wife for him. The servant takes 10 camels loaded with gifts. He travels to Aram Naharaim. He prays by a well. May the woman who offers water to me and my camels be the one you've chosen for Isaac. Before he finishes praying, Rebekah arrives. She offers water. She's beautiful. She's from your brother's family. The servant gives her gifts. He stays with her family. He explains his mission. They agree. Rebekah returns with him. Isaac is in the field meditating. He looks up. He sees the camels. Rebekah sees him. She covers herself with a veil. The servant tells Isaac everything. Isaac brings her into his mother's tent. He marries her. He loves her. He's comforted after his mother's death. You take another wife, Keturah. She bears you 6 sons, but you give everything you own to Isaac. You die at 175 years old. Isaac and Ishmael bury you beside Sarah in the cave. You walked by faith. You left everything familiar. You believed an impossible promise. You obeyed when it cost you everything. You weren't perfect. You lied. You doubted. You tried to force God's plan, but you believed, and God credited it as righteousness. Your legacy isn't your mistakes, it's your faith. Through your offspring, all nations are blessed. That offspring is Christ. The promise given to you reaches every generation. That's the true scope of what God started when he called you out of Ur. You're lying on your deathbed at 175 years old. You came from a city that worshipped the moon. You chased a voice into the desert with nothing but a promise. You waited 25 years for a son. You nearly lost him on a mountain. You buried your wife in the only land you ever owned, a cave you had to buy from foreigners. But you're not thinking about what you lost. You're thinking about what you gained: a name that means Father of Nations, a covenant that outlasts empires, a son who carries the promise forward. You never saw the fulfillment. You died in tents while Canaanites lived in cities. But you saw it from a distance. You believed it. That was enough. Faith isn't knowing the plan, it's trusting the voice. You proved that every time you moved when it made no sense, every time you built an altar in enemy territory, every time you chose obedience over comfort. The promise didn't die with you. It multiplied through Isaac, through Jacob, through 12 tribes, through a nation, through a king born in Bethlehem. The blessing you received that day outside your tent, it's still moving, still multiplying, still reaching people who will never know your name, but live because you believed. That's the legacy, not perfection, faith.